Good morning and welcome to the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. We're here on Airport Boulevard and we welcome you however you're listening, whether in person here or through the amazing technology that we have available to us. So we're going to start today by the way we always do with some meditation. Meditation helps prepare our hearts, our minds, our ears to be able to be available to whatever will come next with the service. So I'm going to start by doing a reading and then we'll have some quiet music and come out of meditation in about 15 minutes. Today's reading is from Henry Nouwen. Many voices ask for our attention. There's a voice that says, "Prove you're a good person." Another voice said, "You better be ashamed of yourself." There's also a voice that says, "Nobody really cares about you." And one that says, "Be sure to be successful, powerful, and popular." But underneath all these often very noisy voices is a still small voice that says, "You are my beloved. My favor rests on you." That's the voice we need most of all to hear. To hear that voice, however, requires special effort. It requires solitude, silence, and a strong determination to listen. That's what prayer is. That's what meditation is. It is the listening to the voice that calls us my beloved. So taking that into meditation, just focus on the breath, focus on quieting your mind so that you can hear that still small voice that says, "You are my beloved." Thank you for taking the time and the energy, slowing yourself down, quieting those many, many voices, consistent voices in our head, so that we can be fully present for the message, the music, all the amazing things that will start at 10:15. So do what you need to do and join us back here very shortly. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. Whether you've chosen to join us today at 4 Points by Sheridan or you've invited us into your homes this morning, we're very glad that you are a part of our celebration today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dusty Rippelmeyer, and I have the pleasure and the honor of being this spiritual center's spiritual director. We are part of a larger organization called Centers for Spiritual Living. Centers for Spiritual Living believes that there is one power and presence back of everything that there is, seen and unseen, that it is that creative energy that has created everything, including each and every single one of us. And we have been created in its image and likeness, not the other way around, which is what we sometimes try to do. Think in our minds of God as a being that's sitting on a cloud someplace, doling out favors and punishment at whim, rather than an energy that is within us, that is benevolent, that is always ready, willing, and able to give us the kingdom of heaven on earth. And so we come together on Sundays and through Zoom on Wednesdays and for classes and for social events to really remind each other who we are, that we are spiritual beings having a human incarnation. And as such, are creative and creating the experiences of our lives, whether we're doing that consciously or unconsciously. And so we support each other to remember that truth and to remember that we can create lives that we wish to live intentionally rather than being battered about by our unconscious thoughts and beliefs and living a life that we're not particularly happy with. So we support each other as we walk this path. So first off, I would just love to say happy Home Group Sunday for those of you that are here, for those of you that are watching. Our beautiful flowers today are dedicated to all of those home group leaders and the leadership, the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living leadership that has been supportive of those home groups throughout all of these years. All of the leaders that took the training and have been leading their particular home groups, and all of the members who have participated in the home groups. I think it was probably around 2013 or so that we actually started them, and many of them are still in existence from that time. We've added others. And really the intention is that within a small group like that, you can be heard, you can be seen, and that it's an opportunity to support each other in a more intimate way, to talk about the practices and principles in a practical way, and to support each other as we really try to be who we were created to be. And so really, I just am grateful for everyone who has participated in the home groups over the years, because I know that they have supported each other with making a meal or going to the hospital or holding others' hands, or just supported them in so many ways that while I can try to be there and for everyone in a pastoral care kind of way, it has certainly made it easier for me to do those kinds of things when I have some help. And these home groups have been that for each other. And they have supported this community in different ways, different functions that they've done over the years. So really, happy Home Group Sunday. I am so grateful for each and every single one of you and appreciative for all that you have done over the years. So later today at 12:15, we'll be kind of meeting. We'll be talking about home groups and really looking into how we can create more groups in our community to continue to support each other and be there for each other in that kind of way. Other announcements that I have, things coming up, the season for nonviolence. So starting tomorrow, January 30th, through April 4th, the season for nonviolence is a global grassroots campaign dedicated to raising awareness about the transformative power of nonviolence. The season was established by Arun Gandhi as a yearly event that celebrates the philosophies and the lives of Mahatma Gandhi, and Martin Luther King Jr. So the season marks the 64 calendar days between the memorial anniversary of the assassination of Gandhi on January 30th and of King on April 4th. Mahatma Gandhi says nonviolence is not a garment to be put on and off at will. Its seat is in the heart, and it must be an inseparable part of our being. And Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King says nonviolence is an absolute commitment to the way of love. Love is not an emotional bash. It's not empty sentimentalism. It is the active outpouring of one's whole being into the being of another. I did want to say, and maybe you could write this down, or if you can't remember it, is that if you Google the Gandhi Institute, a page will come up, and on that page, click on Season for Nonviolence. And then another page will come up, and then scroll to How to Participate. And then when you scroll to How to Participate, click on a little icon that says Daily Practices. And the Gandhi Institute has 64 different daily practices to practice throughout the season of nonviolence, to bring it more powerfully into your life. And I love that. And no sense in remaking the wheel when they have something already so wonderful there. Very simple, very easy things to do. Something as simple as like smile at people throughout the day today. So it's very simple, but it's a way to really bring nonviolence into your life. So I would love it to know that there are many people in our community that are actually doing that and bringing nonviolence to life and to light in the world. So thank you for that. The second is that on February 1st begins Black History Month. Black History Month, of course, is an annual celebration of achievements by African Americans and a time for reorganizing their central role in U.S. history. Since 1976, every U.S. president has officially designated the month of February as Black History Month. Other countries around the world, including Canada and the United Kingdom, also devote a month to celebrating Black history. Marty Meehan says Black History Month must be more than just a month of remembrance. It should be a tribute to our history and a reminder of the work that lies in the months and the years ahead. And Barack Obama says, has been quoted with saying, change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. Lastly, another upcoming event, Groundhog Day. The all-important Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day derives from the Pennsylvania Dutch superstition that if a groundhog emerges from its burrow on February 2nd and sees its shadow due to clear weather, it will retreat back into the den and winter will go on for 6 more weeks. It does not see its shadow. If it does not see its shadow because of cloudiness, then spring will arrive early. So I don't know about you all, but I'm kind of hoping for a cloudy day on February 2nd. Flying llama fish, I have absolutely no idea who this is, but I thought the quote was great. Flying llama fish says, it's a frickin' holiday entirely based on a psychic rodent. If that isn't the epitome of awesomeness, I don't know what is. So as we finish this month on prayer, I have a couple of prayer jokes for you today. After a very long and boring sermon, certainly didn't happen here, the parishioners filed out of the church saying nothing to the preacher. Towards the end of the line was a kind woman who always commented on the sermons. Pastor, today your sermon reminded me of the peace and love of God. The pastor was thrilled and asked the woman to say more. Well, she exclaimed, it reminded me of the peace of God because it passed all understanding, and the love of God because it endured forever. And the second is two young boys were spending the night at their grandparents' a few weeks before Christmas at bedtime. As they knelt beside their bed to say their prayers, when the youngest one began praying at the top of his lungs, I pray for a new bike, an iPad, and an Xbox. His older brother leaned over and nudged the other brother and said, why are you shouting your prayers? God isn't deaf, you know. To which the younger brother replied, no, but Grandma is. So I would like to thank the lovely Marianne, I almost said Marianne Williamson, more famous Marianne Hardy, for her beautiful meditation today, knowing that it expanded the container that our service will unfold within. So I thank you very much, Marianne. And speaking of her, please welcome her back to the podium.
Our theme for the month of January is Root and Reboot. Rev Dusty's talk title today is Celebrating Life as Source. I'm now going to read this community's purpose statement, which is our reason for being here. Our purpose is to inspire, educate, and empower individuals to experience themselves as unique and individualized expressions of God, the love intelligence that governs the universe. We are committed to not merely a theoretical understanding of our oneness and unity with God, but to consciously practice this truth in our everyday lives. Through celebration, service, study, and fellowship, we are committed to the transformation of our personal lives and to being a powerful and beneficial presence on the planet. With the energy of unconditional love, simply, we are here for God. So taking a moment to just get quiet wherever you are, still yourself, center within, open your heart, your mind, all your five senses, and just listen to the healing sound of the crystal bowls all the way to the end of their beautiful music. welcome you to bring your attention back into your bodies and back into the room. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living honors the diversity and threads of truth that run through all spiritual paths, as represented by this ceremony. Please welcome Lynn Marie and Stephen, who will be assisting us this morning. Christianity is the path of Christ consciousness, love, and forgiveness. Buddhism is the path of compassion and understanding. Judaism is the ethical path of living by sacred law. Baha'i is the path of unity and peace. Islam is the path of submission to the will of God, the highest calling. Confucianism is the path of deliberate tradition. Taoism is the natural way, the path of ultimate reality. Native American practice and shamanic traditions are the paths of primal spirituality. Shintoism is the path of tribal ancestry. Hinduism is the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Science of mind and spirit is the path of the divine principle of love and law. And the heart represents the one heart, the one love that resides at the center of all people and all beings everywhere with no exceptions. May peace prevail on earth through the followers of all paths. And so it is. Thank you, Ben. I now invite you to close your outer eyes if you're comfortable, turning within as I speak a word of blessing on today's service. Recognizing in this still moment the presence of the one power, the one love, the one joy back of all that is. Present here this morning as it is present everywhere all of the time. As close as our heartbeat, as close as our breath, that presence that fuels us, funds us, supports us in every conceivable way. It goes by many names: Spirit, God, Mother Earth, whatever way that you identify with it, there is only one. I know that I am one with that. I'm one with that infinite intelligence. I'm one with that wisdom. I'm one with that love. I know that as a truth of me, as I know that as a truth of each person within the sound of my voice, each sentient being on this planet. We are all connected by that golden thread. We are all divine beings. We are having this spiritual experience in these human bodies, in this amazing gift of life. I speak a word of blessing on this moment of Sunday celebration, this gathering of beautiful souls, blessing our beloved Reverend Dusty as she comes forth to speak to us today on our final step for spiritual mind treatment. So grateful for her presence in the community and for her wisdom that she brings to us every week. I speak a word of blessing on Mary Ann for her beautiful meditation and for her presence in our community as a loving practitioner.
I speak a word of blessing on Karen for her gift of song that she shares with us. And I bless Ava as she handles the AV duties today. So grateful for that technology that allows us to have a community that's not with us here physically, but is certainly with us in every other sense of the word. I'm grateful for 4 Points for this space that we have to join in person. I'm grateful for our beautiful community, for the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living, for each of you. As we focus on home groups today, celebrating that experience of community, I speak a word of blessing on each of those home groups and for all of the ways that they show up in our lives, for all the ways that they support the center in each of us. So grateful for those leaders and for each of those members that make that commitment and have that love for each other to support each other. And I'm grateful for this morning, for this opportunity to gather and to celebrate and to love up on each other and to have a pause in our day, in our week, and feel even more palpable that amazing sense of spirit. And I release this prayer and ask you all to anchor this with our words, and so it is. Today's reading is by Reverend Dr. John Waterhouse. He says, the process of release accomplishes two distinct outcomes. First, by releasing your spiritual mind treatment, you are getting out of the way and allowing the full potential of your realization to manifest into being. Your release frees your demonstration to manifest by any and all methods or means, even those of which you could not possibly be consciously aware. When you release your treatment, you are releasing the creative process into full expression. Second, when you let go of your realization, you are creating a space in which your manifestation can and will fully materialize. The universe will not tolerate any void or vacuum. Your letting go actually creates a tension between your realization and that which can be confirmed by the senses in time and space. Letting go works like a magnet to bring into being that which you claim in truth. If you believe that what you say is so, then let it go. The result will be the full manifestation of your desires. And I just have to say, and so it is after that. And now, the wonderful and talented Karen Daly.
Whew, that was beautiful. That was letting go is hard sometimes. This is a beautiful song called "Beautiful You" by Tom Prasad Araya. Consider the lilies in the field, how they neither sow nor reap, but still God's beauty is revealed. He watches over them in their sleep. Will he not do so for you? Oh, my little orphan child, when your long dark night is through, you will see the morning smile of God. Have faith, your dreams await. Whoa, you beautiful you. Now everybody knows the truth. You were such a reckless fool, and you spent your brilliant youth chasing your rainbows and your shadows too. But don't think you've lost your way, 'cause you're standing at the door, and tomorrow is today. And you are the one that you've been waiting for. Look up, have faith. Your dreams away. Whoa, you, beautiful you. And so asking you'll receive. Go out and seek and you will find. It's not easy to believe that the water has turned to wine. Look up, have faith. Your dreams, they wait for you. Beautiful you. Look up, have faith. Your dreams wait. Whoa, you, beautiful you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful song and beautifully sung. Look up, have faith, your dreams await. Perfect song for today. Perfect song to finish out this month. So grateful. Thank you so very much, Karen. Beautiful. Through the foundational principles of science of mind, we have spent this month really reminding ourselves who we really are. And we've done it against the backdrop of the 5 steps of a spiritual mind treatment. So today we prepare to surrender into this year and into our lives. It's our final step, and it's one of the most important steps that we will ever take. It's truly what it takes to live our lives out loud. Now, the 5th step, the final step of the spiritual mind treatment, is called release. And in this step, we affirm our trust in the universal principle, our faith in the creative process, and our belief that we are actually fully engaged in creation every time we speak a spiritual mind treatment, every time we release the treatment that we have just given. We do this by releasing the treatment, by releasing the words and the process into the law. Now think about it for a moment. See yourself plugging in a lamp at the electrical outlet on a wall, and then walking over to the lamp and actually turning it on, knowing, right? Knowing without a shadow of a doubt that the electricity is there. Very rarely do you turn it like hoping and praying that it's going to be there, right? We believe that it's going to be there. We trust that it's going to be there. Now, in the very same way that we mentally let go of a treatment and let the law work, we let it go, and we let the law work out the good that we have established in the universal mind through our prayer treatment. We acknowledge that a new cause, so those thoughts and beliefs that we have are the cause, right, of the experiences that we have. So we acknowledge that a new cause has now been established in the world. We've just done that through our prayer. We're free of any and all concerns regarding the fulfillment of the cause. It is fulfilled. We're letting it go. We're turning on that lamp. We know this is absolutely true, and we're completely convinced that our spiritual mind treatment is already producing results. This is the energy that you have or need to have when you're releasing that prayer. Completely convinced, confident that this is how the law works and that we are co-creating with that process. We're no longer concerned about the situation, and we're free to act as though the demonstration is already complete and that thing or that way of being is already present in our lives. Whew! How good does that feel, right? To just know beyond a shadow of a doubt that that is so. In the release, we cast our words into the stream of life that is always, ever and always creating through the action of the law and through the action of that creative process. It is ever doing that. And now we are consciously participating in that. We cast that seed, we get out of the way, and we allow the infinite intelligence to bring it about. Our job, our only job, is the what. Never the how, only the what. When we try to figure it out and to make things happen according to our own will, then we're trying to manage conditions and we're limited by what we already know. Being limited by what we already know separates us from the unlimited possibilities, which is the presence of God itself. We can't tap into that when we're trying to control something based on what we already know. The final step is critical. It's critical because it means that we have induced the belief so deeply in our consciousness that we truly know that it is true. That it is true, and have faith that it is so. Have faith. Karen sang about it. Have faith that it is so. This is a complete release and total trust. It is done. Ernest Holmes says, as you learn to release all your burdens to the right action of God, you will find that everything falls into its proper place. You let your problems slip away from you, realizing that a power greater than you are and a presence that is within you is ready, willing, and able to guide you in all ways. Then peace, security, and fulfillment come with ease, and there is a sense of joy and accomplishment. A feeling of confidence. It is done. And so it is. Wouldn't you like me to be done right now? Ha! Ain't happening. Remember, enduring all. Release is a declarative statement of trust and acceptance. Those words, and so it is, can be an empowering or a mindless, meaningless ritual depending upon our willingness to let go of it, to let go of the process, and to let go of our demands about what the form of that prayer should take. Speaking of letting go, in our teaching, as well as in the teaching of many faith traditions throughout time, they talk about spiritual growth, right? So spiritual growth often shows up as what we need to gain or what we need to add to ourselves or to our lives. Now, while it might be true that gaining or adding to might be involved in our spiritual evolution, it is more often than not the opposite. It is this idea of what we need to let go of that is actually the key to our growth, to our spiritual evolution, to our joy, to our abundance, to our freedom, and to our experience of unconditional love. Michael Beckwith says that 100% of spiritual growth is in the letting go. 100%. Now, releasing and letting go of ideas, beliefs, and attachments that no longer serve us, serve to really create an openness and a spaciousness in our consciousness, in our minds, in our lives. For most of us, releasing and letting go is really where the bulk of our work is, to be able to let go and know that it is so, that it is done. When we do so, we open ourselves up to the allness of possibilities. We open ourselves up to spiritual growth and evolution. It's not always easy, right? But it is that important. Think about it. If you can't let go, right? If you're holding on to something so tightly, if you can't let go, you can't be open. If you can't let go, you can't receive. As with spiritual mind treatment, we remove those obstacles that get in the way of our divine source and open ourselves up to the allness of possibilities when we are willing to let go. Now, this could look like letting go of judgment about ourselves or about others and stepping into a space of true compassion, recognizing that there's no aspect of ourselves that is any better or any worse than any other aspect, that there's no person on the planet that is any better or any worse than any other person, and that there's no circumstance or condition or situation that is any worse or any better than any other, but simply our human judgment around that aspect or around that person or around that situation that makes it so, that makes it appear to be so. Richard Bach in A Bridge Across Forever says there are no mistakes. The events that we bring upon ourselves, no matter how unpleasant, are necessary in order to learn what we need to learn, what steps we need to take. They're necessary to reach the places that we've chosen to go. Right? Especially those places that our soul has chosen to go. This could look like letting go of our resentments and or our guilt so that we can truly step into a space of forgiveness for ourselves and for others. Edwene Gaines says this about forgiveness. Forgiveness is not something that we do for the sake of another person. Forgiveness is something we do for ourselves. Forgiveness frees us from the endless loop of blame and bad feelings that keep our mind focused on all of the wrong things. Right? And where we keep our attention, right, we keep in our lives. This could look like letting go of our old stories, our old patterns, and our old beliefs that no longer serve us, those patterns and beliefs and ideas that create resistance, that get in the way of our being the fullest expression of who we came here to be. The bottom line is that our lives will remain forever the same or something very similar to what we have already been experiencing time and time again if we don't change, if we don't let go of the underlying context that we have been living from. Lao Tzu says, when I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. This could look like letting go of control, of being right, of our own human ideas of what is best for ourselves, for our lives, and for others around us. Our lives take on a richness, a depth, a peacefulness that we may never have ever even dreamed possible when we stand firmly grounded in the truth of who we are as spiritual beings having a human incarnation. The truth is that when we let go, when we surrender to something greater than we are, we align ourselves with that good, with the allness of possibility. Joseph Campbell says we must be willing to let go of the life that we have planned so as to accept the life that is waiting for us. Releasing is about making room for a greater good to be expressed or received, for change to take place, or for a healing to occur. Since the all-knowing Spirit within us always knows what it is, what we need to release in our lives, the only thing we really need to do is ask. To get quiet, to be still, to ask and to reverently listen for and to that inner voice, and then to follow its guidance. As Spirit really fills our being with the truth, we can relax and release and really let go of all of that that we no longer need. Fundamentally, we all just want to be happy and secure and peaceful. And the way we go about this, our strategy for really finding and maintaining that happiness and that security and that peacefulness, is to cling to whatever we think is going to bring us the goods. That's going to make happiness and peace and security the experience of our lives. We cling to all kinds of things. We cling to status and our material possessions. We cling to approval or pleasure, a job, a particular person, a way of thinking about ourselves, a particular relationship, or a way of being in the world. We cling to an ideology or a religious identity or a cultural norm or a race consciousness idea as a way of belonging and finding security in a world that is constantly changing around us. We even cling to those aspects of our lives that we don't even necessarily find pleasurable, right? Simply because they feel familiar. And it might be less scary to stay in the familiar because the fear of change is too great. So we stay with the feelings of unhappiness, or the feelings of victimhood, or the feelings of loneliness and lack and limitation or despair. But in the end, clinging is never, ever successful. We have to be willing to let go. There's a beautiful story that I told before, but it's so perfect for this. In his book, Illusions, The Adventure of a Reluctant Messiah, Richard Bach tells a story, and it goes like this. Once there lived a village of creatures along the bottom of a great crystal river. The current of the river swept over them all. Think flow of life. Young and old, rich and poor, good and evil, the current going its own way, knowing its own crystal self. Each creature in its own matter clung tightly to the twigs and rocks of the river bottom, for clinging was their way of life, and resisting the current, what each had learned from birth. But one creature at last said, "I'm tired of clinging. Though I cannot see it with my eyes, I trust that the current knows where it's going. I shall let go and let it take me where it will. Clinging, I shall die of boredom." The other creatures laughed and said, "Fool, let go, and the current you worship will throw you tumbled and smashing against the rocks, and you will die quicker than boredom." But the one heeded them not, and taking a breath did let go, and at once was tumbled and smashed by the current across the rocks. Yet in time the creature refused to cling again. The current lifted him free from the bottom, and he was bruised and hurt no more. And the creatures downstream to whom he was a stranger cried, "See, a miracle, a creature like us, and yet he flies. See, the Messiah has come to save us all." And the one carried in the current said, "I am no more Messiah than any of you." The river delights to lift us all free if we only dare to let go. Our true work is this voyage and this adventure, this one of letting go. So today, the invitation is to take a breath and to let go, to refuse to cling any longer. Refuse to cling to whatever it is that you're clinging to surrender to a universal flow of good that is always flowing through and around us. Weather the initial tumbling that may occur, trust that you will continue to be lifted up by a current that delights in doing so, and allow the inner Christ consciousness that is within each of you to fly and to light the way for all of those downstream. See, a Messiah just like us, and yet it flies. We are that light, the light that we and everybody else has been waiting for. The invitation is to release and let go when our fears are getting the best of us. Release and let go when we're consistently making unreasonable compromises. Release and let go when we are overly sacrificing our personal values. Release and let go when we struggle with our hurts, our regrets, our failures, and our mistakes. Release and let go when we hold grudges or we deny ourselves the opportunity for growth and for evolution. The invitation is to release and let go when we're feeling lousy and miserable and we're feeling stuck. Release and let go of toxic relationships, of being dragged down by other people's emotional outbursts and problems. Release and let go of taking criticism and rejection personally, of always needing to be right or perfect, of attachment to specific results and outcomes, of holding on to choices that we made or failed to make. Release and let go of trying to live up to other people's standards or expectations, or trying to win other people's approval. The invitation is to release ourselves from the burden of all of these things. I know we've all felt them a time or two. But they do not serve us. In fact, they may only serve to hurt us. Might be the only serving that they do. Holding on to this baggage will only weigh us down. It's a road that we don't want to travel because it will only lead us down a path of struggle. Right? It is said that pain is inevitable, but struggle is optional. We've all felt pain a time or two in our lives. It's the holding on to of the experience. It's all of the baggage that comes along with it that takes us down that road of struggle. Releasing and letting go is all about responsibility. It's about taking responsibility for whatever situation that we find ourselves within. It's about stepping back and not allowing ourselves to get overwhelmed by that particular moment in time. This too shall pass. When we release and let go, we experience the space to really think about our lives. It gives us space to gather new insights, to really gain a proper perspective of the situation or the circumstance, to free ourselves to think clearly. When we're all wrapped up in the moment, it's hard to think clearly. When we're all wrapped up in the moment, the only thing we're thinking about is the situation, and then what do we bring? More of that into our lives. We truly need to let go. It's the only way that allows for positive change and for transformation in our lives. When we release and let go, we release all attachment to past memories of failure and mistakes. We release people who are holding us back. We release unhelpful thoughts and feelings that often sabotage our progress, our evolution. When we surrender our falsehoods, our fears, our doubts, our worries, we free ourselves to live our lives out loud in celebration. Every day becomes a day to really celebrate the simplicity and the beauty of life itself. In our lives, as well as in a spiritual mind treatment, this idea of releasing is so very important. Reverend Dr. John Waterhouse says, do not underestimate the importance of this step in your spiritual mind treatment work. As you finish your treatment, your mind may well want to return to the problem. I saw some. That's happened. For your treatment to be effective, your release statement must be more powerful and convincing than your desire to worry or any urge you might have to focus on the existing condition. Use your release statements as a way of turning your desire over to the all of spirit, and be vigilant in letting go of any attachment to the result that you desire. This is how we celebrate life as source, right? Know and recognize the truth about God, align ourselves with it, speak our spiritual truth about ourselves and about the world, let loose anything unlike this truth, feel and express gratitude for our good, and release it all fully, completely, totally, confidently into the action of the law. Today is the time to surrender into a bigger idea of our lives, a bigger idea of the world, to move from struggle into celebration, to live our lives out loud. And so it is. That's the real one. So it is. So I just invite you to turn within, to allow ourselves to recognize that presence of the divine that is within us and surrounding us, to allow our awareness of its presence right here, right now, where we are, to really expand in our consciousness. To know it, to claim our oneness with it. I am that. To know that we are one with it, created by it, out of itself, in its image and likeness. Everything that God is, we are. Connected to it in ways that can never be broken. We can, at any given moment of any given day, no matter the situation, no matter the relationship, lean powerfully into that. There is a power greater than we are, and we can use it. Spiritual beings having a human incarnation. Our truth is so much bigger, so much grander than anything our imagination can hold. And so I claim for each of us today ease and grace around really stepping into a new way of being in the world. A way of celebrating life as source. Knowing the truth of who we are, speaking it, letting go of anything unlike it, and releasing it into the action of the law. Using prayer as a way to really change our mind, to change our consciousness, to change our feeling, to change the context we are creating from, and to ultimately change our own lives and the lives of those around us. Simply by saying yes. Yes, and being willing to let go of anything unlike that yes. This is the way that it works. Of that we can be confident, like plugging in that lamp and turning it on. We can be just as confident that this is the way that creation works, as knowing that that electricity is there. Knowing that if we drop something off the top of a building, it is going to land on the ground because of gravity. Universal laws are universal. They work the same for everyone all of the time. I'm so grateful to know this truth and to speak these words. So grateful for the power of prayer, knowing that these words are loosed into that law, that my words are clothed in form even as they are spoken. And so I release them confidently, gratefully, knowing beyond a shadow of a doubt that it is so. And we anchor this prayer for ourselves, for each other, for our community, and for the world, simply by saying, and so it is. So it is. Thank you all so very much. It is now time for our conscious giving. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living is sustained by the giving of our time, talent, and treasure. And this is the time every week when we offer financial support to assist this community to continue to be a beacon of light and love and warmth in the Greater Triangle area. Together we affirm the truth that today's offering lifts this spiritual community, prospers the one giving, and adds to the energy of sufficiency on the planet. There are a number of ways that you can give, and they are on your screen or on this screen. Visit our website at www.trianglecsl.org. Text the word give using the following number, 919-230-8445, or mail your gift to our office at P.O. Box 4062, Cary, North Carolina 27519. I invite you in this moment to place your hand over your heart with your gift, or with an intention for yourself or for the community, and repeat our offering affirmation in a call and response. I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life. I give with gratitude, knowing that God is my source. And so it is. So it is. Thank you all so very much. And now please welcome back the amazing, the magnificent songstress, Karen Daly.
I feel like I should have that song. What is it? I release and I let go, and I don't have that one, so we're gonna move on. I know, sorry. Maybe we can do it as a group later. This is a song though that I love. It helps to remind me that we're all really dropped on this planet. We're pretty much amazing right from the get-go, and it's hard to remember that sometimes, but we are all wonders of God's own creation. Doctors have come from distant cities just to see me. Stand over my bed, disbelieving what they're seeing. They say I must be one of the wonders of God's own creation. And as far as they see, they can offer no explanation. People, they ask intimate questions want confessions. They reach into my head to steal the glory of my story. They say I must be one of the wonders of God's own creation. And as far as they see, they can offer no explanation. Ooh, I believe fate's smile and destiny laughed as she came to my cradle. No, this child will be able, and laughed as my body she lifted. No, this child will be gifted with love, with patience, and with faith. She'll make her way. People see me, I'm a challenge to your balance. I'm over your heads, how I confound you and astound you. They say I must be one of the wonders of God's own creation. And as far as they see, they can offer no explanation. Ooh, and I believe fate's smile and destiny laughed as she came to my cradle. No, this child will be able, and laughed as my body she lifted. No, this child will be gifted with love, with patience, and with faith. She'll make her way. With love, with patience, and with faith. She'll make her way. She'll make her way. Thank you.
So beautiful, Karen. Thank you so much. If you would like prayer for anyone or anything, please go to our website at trianglecsl.org. And on the home page, there's a button in the upper right hand corner. Click on that button and fill in the request form. We love to get your prayers, and we'll send it out to all the ministers and practitioners to know that truth for you. If you would like to dedicate a flower dedication to help us have flowers here each Sunday, please send an email to info@trianglecsl.org or to Reverend Dusty at dustyrippelmeyer@yahoo.com. Our next event will be next Sunday after service, our February lunch bunch celebrating all of the February birthdays. Please join us at Scratch in downtown Cary. That's at 160 East Cedar Street. I haven't dined there, but I went by and it looks yummy. And there's a menu out on the welcome table and a sign up sheet if you would do that, if you know you're going to join us. Join us Sunday, February 12th for our annual Super Bowl game and chili cook-off, one of the highlights of the year. Always a wonderful, fun time. We've been doing this for many years, and it is always great. Great food, great fellowship. The cost of the evening is $5 or a large pot of chili to share with everyone. The winners receive cash prizes, a trophy, and bragging rights. Please RSVP to info@trianglecsl.org with the number of people in your party and whether you're going to be bringing some chili. This is a save the date for our annual meditation retreat. This year's retreat will once again be held at the beautiful St. Francis Springs Meditation Retreat Center. It will run from 5 p.m. Friday, June 9th through 3 p.m. Sunday, June 11th. Please get that on your calendar if you plan to join us. It is a not to be missed event. It's a very sacred opportunity to experience the beauty of meditation. We have space for the first 35 to register, And you can register with a $50 deposit through our website or here at service. Just come see me. Please consider treating yourself to this very sacred and loving weekend. We now have announcement sheets on our welcome tables. Please grab one of those on your way out so that you can save all these dates for all our amazing events coming up. Now, in the comfort of your own home, please stand for our January affirmations. This is a call and response, and please repeat it with meaning. And there are a few papers on the chairs if you would like to read from that, and you can also take those home with you. And January affirmations. There is one life. That life is God's life. That life is my life now.
There is one life. That life is God's life. That life is my life now.
I am a living embodiment of the divine.
I am a living embodiment of the divine.
Furthermore, I see the entire world as one expression of its power and presence.
Furthermore, I see the entire world as one expression of its power and presence.
Like a moving, living, breathing kaleidoscope of color, we are all connected to the one single source.
Like a moving, living, breathing kaleidoscope of color, we are all connected to the one single source.
Today, I commit to being bold in my expression of life.
Today, I commit to being bold in my expression of life.
I give thanks in advance, knowing with unwavering faith that the good of God is with me each and every day.
I give thanks in advance, knowing with unwavering faith that the good of God is with me each and every day.
I surrender my falsehoods, my fears, and my doubts, freeing myself to live in celebration.
I surrender my falsehoods, my fears, and my doubts, freeing myself to live in celebration.
This one life is my life right now, and I celebrate it out loud.
This is my life right now, and I celebrate it out loud.
And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you. Please be seated. And once again, turn within with me as I speak a word of gratitude for this amazing service that unfolded today. So grateful for Spirit, so grateful for the love that surrounds us in this amazing, beautiful community. So grateful for each of you joining us here today, each of you that are listening to this service in the future, knowing that we are all one in unity and that God is good and all is well. And so it is.
Thank you all so very much for joining us today. A couple of Sundays ago, I read a thing that was Reverend Dr. Ken Gordon used to say, and as Heather was reminding everybody about prayer, I just wanted to read this again because I think it's so great that, sometimes it's really important to reach out to someone else when you can't find your way into knowing the truth about yourself and about your world, to reach out to someone else, to reach out to a minister, to reach out to a practitioner, or to somebody in your home group, or to go to the Global Prayer Network. And Reverend Ken Gordon says, if you believe that I believe this for you, then borrow my faith. Borrow my faith. There is a power in this universe, and we can use it. Borrow my faith. And so it is. Thank you all. Have a wonderful week. I love you.